Assalamu alaikum, everyone. I think we're good to start right now. So, once again, I'm Ahmed Khan, a psychotherapist and an Islamic manifestation coach. A little bit about myself before we start our session. So, I was born and brought up in Saudi Arabia, and my journey in Islam has been a little different. So, as a child, I was blessed to spend some quality time around some scholarly people in Saudi Arabia, and I happen to be intimately close to the religious part of Islam since childhood. I have been a part of a lot of weekly ijtimas and a lot of ilm that I have gathered through my understanding of Islam throughout my childhood. But as I moved to India in 2001, I started drifting away from the religion because of other priorities in my life. Because then I was no more a child. I stepped into my adulthood, and a lot of other aspirations, like my career aspiration, my growth aspiration, and other desires, all of that overshadowed my interest and my inclination towards Islam. And I kind of got drifted away from Islam for a few years until one day in 2016 is when Allah has actually pushed me towards the biggest test of my life. So in that moment of life, I actually lost all that I thought was mine, all that I thought defined me, all those fancy job titles I had, everything. I lost all of that merely overnight, and I was forced to look into Islam in a very different way. So as children, when we understood Islam, we understood Islam in a different way with a different state of mind, and all the du'as, all the namaz that we used to offer used to be very impactful. Most of our du'as we have seen getting manifested uh, instantaneously. And as we grew up, we realized that the power of our du'as have has actually diminished to a great extent. And I realized that a lot of people that I have met have actually drifted away from religion, from Islam, for majorly this reason, that as when they were children, their du'as were very impactful, and they were more connected to Islam. But as they grew up, they started to realize that their du'as are very feeble now, and then a lot of their du'as don't get manifested. So, in that way, when I looked deeper into this, why is it that as adults we are not able to connect to Islam like how we connected to Islam as children, and why as adults our du'as are very weak in comparison to the du'as that we offered as children? Is because I realized that when we were children, we had a very pure mind, a mind that was not distracted, a mind that was more focused. But as we grew up into our adulthood, we our minds became more manipulated, our minds became less fertile, our minds became more distractive, and thus it became more subconscious. So as children, when our minds were very fertile and clear, we were offering namaz, offering du'as from a conscious state of mind, because there weren't too many burdens in our mind, not too many distractions in our mind. We were able to be fully present in every dua, every namaz that we offered, and we were fully conscious during childhood. So this is the missing link I realized between our childhood and adulthood, and it made me understand Islam from a very grown up perspective of mind, from a scientific perspective, from every other way, but as an adult, a way that we haven't perceived religion as children. So the purpose of conscious namaz is just this, that we help people offer du'as, offer namaz in the most conscious ways. And the reason why we say it is important is because if we are offering namaz and du'as from a subconscious state of mind, or from a busy state of mind and not a mindful state of mind, the impact of our du'as are very weak. The impact of our namaz is also very weak. The impact that namaz is supposed to bring to our mind, body, and life is at bare minimum when we're offering it in the contemporary way, how we offer namaz, how everybody offers namaz. It's a very subconscious way of recitation. So the essence of conscious namaz is this: to stop people from offering namaz and dua from a subconscious state of mind and start offering these powerful rituals that Allah has dawned upon mankind for our benefit in the most sacred way, in the most mindful and a most conscious way. So an example of a subconscious way of recitation during namaz, a subconscious way of offering dua is this, that you know our namaz practice looks something like this right now. Most of us, we hear the azan and we realize that it's time for salah, and we rush to the mosque or we rush to the wazu khana, and hum wahan jaake we go and wash our hands, and we put our hands under that running water and our legs and our face, and we finish that wazu in the most mindless ways. Our mind is everywhere else but focusing towards the wuzu ritual that is very powerful, very important. I feel wuzu is a part of namaz itself. So it is a very integral part of namaz. And we do it in the most mindless ways. We are not conscious. Our mind is everywhere else, but in that place where we are offering wuzu, we are thinking about our jobs, our careers, our kids, our families, our financial setbacks, our everything else, but thinking about Allah in that moment. So when we are offering wuzu, we are supposed to be completely mind free. We're supposed to keep everything out of our mind that is related to our life and surrender to the devotion we have for Allah, and being fully mindful and conscious. We are supposed to access water and cleanse ourselves before we step onto our janamas, and most people do not do it this way. And the next step after they offer their wuzu, they just blindly walk onto the janima, stand there, and then Allah Akbar, Alhamdulillah, Rabbil Alamin, Rahman Rahim, Malik Yawmiddin. It's done in a very unconscious way, very a way where it is more like a childhood recording that has been playing in our minds throughout our life. When we are offering namaz, when we stand on that janamas and do that rakat, our minds are everywhere. We are not conscious, and we are just doing a mental record, repeating a mental recording in our mind, and that's it. And that is not the way we have actually been asked to offer namaz. Subconscious mind is a powerful state of being. That is why Allah has blessed us with this faculty in our mind. And but the thing is that since we grew up into adulthood, we our minds have become very distractive. And with that state of mind, offering any namaz or any dua holds bare minimum relevance or significance. So, when you're offering namaz, when you're standing on the janimaz, being conscious means withdrawing your focus from every worldly activity and putting all your focus on the namaz itself, on every verse that we're reciting, like like from the first surah to the end of the namaz, we are supposed to feel that each and every verse run deep in our body. We're supposed to feel the vibration of every recitation we are doing, while making sure our mind is not wandering in our worldly duties or obligations. So that is how sacred namaz is supposed to be. Just standing there with your hands around your chest and doing a mental recording, replaying a mental recording is not namaz. It's supposed to be a very sacred activity. And the same goes like how the wuzu is supposed to be a sacred and a mindful activity. The namaz is supposed to be a sacred and mindful activity. And the third part of namaz that I feel is again a part of namaz, and the most important part of namaz is those post namaz meditations that we're supposed to do, those recitations we are supposed to do when we sit after offering namaz in that cross leg position, and then we are supposed to recite Allahu Akbar, Alhamdulillah, Subhanallah, these three powerful words for 33 times after each namaz. It is there for a reason. It is not there just to sit there again mechanically do it like how we do every other ritual, like every other activity, in fact. It's not supposed to be done that way. It is supposed to carry some sacredness to it, some importance and some significance to it. So every time you do that post namaz meditation where you're reciting Alhamdulillah for 33 times, Allahu Akbar for 33 times, Subhanallah for 33 times, you're supposed to be fully conscious, and you're supposed to feel the vibration of each and every powerful word that we're supposed to recite after the namaz, right? So the right way to do your post namaz meditation before you offer your dua is this. You're supposed to sit with your eyes closed, think about 33 things, 33 things that Allah has blessed you with. It could be the blessing of a child. You might have a child that Allah blessed you with, and he's the most healthiest child that you have. It might be a job that you have been blessed with. It might be a partner you have been blessed with, or it could be the abundance of finances that Allah blessed you with. Think about 33 reasons that you are grateful to Allah. And when you recite Alhamdulillah for each time, think about those 33 events that Allah has already blessed you with. To start with, it is difficult to think about 33 different things. I understand that. But I encourage every member in the Conscious Namaz community to make sure that every time you're reciting Alhamdulillah for 33 times, make sure you think of at least three things that you're very grateful to Allah for. Three things, like you will have more than three things to uh, write down, but to start with, let's start with three things that you are blessed with, that you feel grateful to Allah, and recite Alhamdulillah for 11 times for these three things. And when you do this, you feel every event that you were blessed with. You were grateful to Allah. You feel it as deep as you can in your heart when you're saying Alhamdulillah for those 11 times for those three things that you have written down. And same goes for Allahu Akbar as well. We mindlessly recite these most powerful words that have been given to us by Allah. We mindlessly recite it without even understanding the power of these verses, without even understanding the importance of these Islamic words in our life. Alhamdulillah is supposed to be done in the way we just discussed, in the most mindful way, in a way where your heart is active in the moment, not just your mind running, your heart being active in the moment. And when you're reciting Allahu Akbar is again a very, very, very powerful word, and we all know how powerful it is. But we recite this word also mindlessly for 33 times. So for the start, difficult to think 33 different times that Allah has actually helped us. Think about three things that Allah had supported you, guided you, was there in some sort of difficulty, and you came out of that difficulty miraculously. Think about three such things where Allah was there to guide you, and then say Allahu Akbar for 11 times for these three things. Be sure that you're recalling the visuals of all those three times when you got saved, you got helped, you got guided. Think about those and then say Allahu Akbar for 11 times each. And when you're saying that, make sure your mind is not distracted. And the same is the significance with Subhanallah as well after namaz. Subhanallah is again a very, very powerful word that we recite very mindlessly. We're supposed to say Subhanallah for the creation that Allah has blessed us with, for this creation, this life that we're living in. We're supposed to say Subhanallah for the sky, the beautiful weather, the rain, the trees, the nature, these things that Allah had blessed us with. These things are not too important for us, honestly, because we never put our focus. But these are the things that are responsible for our life itself. If the trees weren't there, we wouldn't be able to breathe. If the air was polluted, then you know how difficult it would be. So there are many such reasons that you can say Subhanallah for. Like, to start with, think about three creations of Allah that are mesmerizing in nature, that are very connected to you. Like, it could be the rainfall you witnessed last monsoon. It could be the beautiful breeze that you witnessed while you were going for your morning walk. It could be anything that is disguised as nature that Allah has created for us. Think about three things that are in this context, and say Subhanallah wholeheartedly while holding an image of what you witnessed, and say Subhanallah for 11 times for these three different things. And this is how your post namaz meditations are supposed to be. This is how meaningful it is. In fact, today, since this session is a very brief and a small session, I would like to even go a little deeper into the science behind Alhamdulillah, or gratitude. So, very recently, there has been an experiment that was hosted in the United States in one of the most prestigious universities. So over there, they asked the participants to think, just think about moments that they were grateful for, and think about moments they felt loved, and think about moments they felt proud of themselves, like emotions on this level. They were asked to just reminisce these moments for 3 times a day, 10 minutes each, for a period of 2 weeks. So the pre-medical tests of the participants and the post-medical tests of the participants were done, where participants were recorded to have an increase of a specific hormone in the human body that is called IgA, or immunoglobulin, that is a immunity marker in a body. So if a doctor has to check the immunity of your body, they check the IgA levels in your body. So the IgA levels of the participants shot up by 87% just by visualizing moments of being grateful, visualizing moments of being loved for just 3 times a day for a week. And this, if you if we have higher levels of immunoglobulin in the body, our bodies are immune, and they can fight any external viruses or any bacteria or any sort of health issues, but from base level itself. So the reason why I'm sharing this experiment in a very brief way is because this was the result of people doing it just through visualizations for a week. But imagine if we do this for 5 times a day after every namaz, while we are saying Alhamdulillah and Allahu Akbar and Subhanallah to all these blessings. If we are doing this, this is enough to keep our health and our physical health at its optimum. It will help to keep our bodies immune from all these viruses, all these illnesses that are around in the air. So the power of Alhamdulillah, Subhanallah, and Allahu Akbar is phenomenal. And I request all of you from my heart to make sure that these three parts of namaz that we just discussed, make sure that these parts are done in a very conscious way, from the wuzu to the namaz to the post namaz meditation, and finally the duas that we offer. So when you're offering duas, I would I would want all of you to understand the law of tawakkul behind duas, because the law of tawakkul, the law of belief towards Allah, is the most important factor for every dua to get manifested into your reality, for every dua to be answered by Allah. So this law of tawakkul, let's look into it in a very brief way again today. So the law of tawakkul, in my understanding, is like how do I put it across? It's like you just know from the deepest part of your heart and your mind that whatever you ask Allah for granting you in this life, you're supposed to ask that in a way that is, firstly, it is supposed to be done in a present tense. And when it is done in present tense, you're supposed to feel deeply that Allah has already blessed you with what you have asked Him for. For example, if I am asking Allah, or if I am praying to Allah for my mother's health, I can't be asking Allah in a way where I feel disheartened when I'm asking for this prayer. So being disheartened in a way that Allah, my mom is doing, is not keeping well. She needs healing right now, and I'm very worried. And please grant her healing. If you do it this way, the law of tawakkul is not applied here, because you're already disheartened. the law of tawakkul says that when you are asking Allah, you better be sure, you have to be 1,000% sure that if what you're asking Allah is halal, He will give it to you, and He has already given to you. So if I'm praying for my mother's health, I pray to Allah in this way. I offer a conscious wuzu, offer a conscious namaz, offer a conscious post namaz meditation, and then I tell Allah, Allah, Shukriya, thank you for healing my mom. I am so blessed that you have given her healing, and Alhamdulillah that she's able to walk right now. Alhamdulillah that you have already granted her healing. This is the place I pray from. This is a place we all supposed to pray from, because when we are praying from this point, this is the ultimate tawakkul we're talking about. When I'm praying for a job that I desire, I'm not gonna pray from a state of lack. That is not tawakkul, and that's not my ultimate belief in Allah. If I'm gonna be praying to Allah for my job, uh, being disheartened and sad, saying "Ki I'm jobless right now. I feel very, very, very disheartened, and everybody's, calling me different names because I'm unemployed. And please, Allah, give me a job. Find the job for me. Allah Ta'ala, give me the job that I desire. You can't do it that way. You're supposed to do it from a present state of mind where your mind is not distracted by anything, and you are asking Allah for this in a present state. So I will ask Allah in this way, कि Allah, Alhamdulillah for blessing me with the job that is perfectly fit for me. Alhamdulillah for granting me this opportunity that now I am able to join the most desired profile and the most desired designation that I wanted. It is supposed to be done in this present state of mind. So this is a conscious dua, and this is the difference. I know we all know, we've all been practicing dua and namaz and offering namaz 5 times a day for decades, but our heart never feels that depth, that connection with Allah, that we don't receive that guidance so effectively from Allah, is because it has always been done as if there's a recording that is being playing in our mind and nothing more deeper than that. So I encourage each and every conscious namaz member to take that special effort this Ramadan and just do these minor changes in their practices, where they just make sure that it is not just verbal what they're offering to Allah, it is mental as well, from your mind as well, and spiritual as well. So that next time your heart calls you to that Janamaz again, next time your heart calls you for those post namaz meditations, next time your heart knows and believes in Allah to that degree that you know whatever you're asking Allah is halal and it will be delivered to you. I want you to cultivate a mindset like this Ramzan. And the essence and purpose of conscious namaz is also just this, that we're supposed to make sure that our sacred rituals that Allah has given to us, dawned upon the entire mankind, are supposed to be done in mindful ways, in conscious ways, and not just an activity that is just coming and going. It is always in the move. Not like that. In a very present state of mind is what we're supposed to offer this. So this is about a brief session on what we are doing in Tahajjud, the Tahajjud Namaz program this Ramzan. This is exactly how we are going to be guiding each one of you from designing your and preparing your duas beforehand, and how to make sure that those duas are at that maximum tawakkul, at that maximum level of belief. All of this we're going to be learning step by step in the Tahajjud Namaz program. And so there are going to be 6 sessions of this specific program. The 6 sessions are going to be running something like this: one session in the afternoon after Zohar, and the second session will be at 2 a.m. to 2:30 a.m. at night at Tahajjud Namaz time. And the afternoon session is going to be around a 90-minute session where we're going to look into every detail of how we can be more conscious during our wuzu, during our namaz, during our post-namaz meditations, and we are going to look into the whole anatomy of the Tahajjud prayer, how to do it, and along with this, we also have a few therapies, a few psychotherapies, which will program your mind for a higher degree of tawakkul, that will program your mind to believe that what you're asking Allah is in your reach, and you to program your mind to believe that you are capable of receiving those blessings from Allah. So this there is going to be a therapeutic assistance in hosting the Tahajjud namaz, and there is going to be theoretical assistance, and there's going to be a step-by-step guidance when it comes to offering that dua. So the dua that we will offer in the Tahajjud namaz for those 3 days is going to be hosted by me. The namaz you're supposed to offer in the way we're going to discuss and learn in our very first session this Wednesday. And I encourage all of you to join this 3-day Tahajjud Namaz program and relearn the whole process of offering namaz, or refine the whole process that you understand this Ramzan, and amplify the impact of each and every dua that you surrender to, each and every namaz that you surrender to in front of Allah, in front of Allah. So this is going to be the course, and since it is a new program that we have launched, we kept it on an early bird offer that is for just 99 rupees, which is barely anything on anybody's pocket. I really encourage you to join this. And secondly, I would also encourage the community members here to log on to Amazon or Flipkart and buy a copy of your Conscious Namaz book this Ramzan. And the book talks about everything in detail. And in fact, since this is a month of Ramadan, you can you can do as much sawab as you want, and every sawab will be amplified to a different extent. So I would encourage you all to buy a copy of this book, and also gift it to people you love, people who you care about. Give it to them so that they can understand the step-by-step processes of offering a conscious namaz and amplifying the impact of the namaz this Ramzan. So, thank you so much for being patient listeners, and thank you so much for joining this free session. And I will be opening up the audio here for any questions if you people have. Please raise a hand and I'll unmute you.
Hi, Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
Yeah, so I wanted to know in what way, like, I am very deeply connected to Tahajjud, and I have also experienced the power of Tahajjud. Can you, could you, like, explain to me that how can I, like, I feel like in my own way that I'm very powerful, like, when I am offering my Tahajjud namaz, I feel very connected, but how can I make it more conscious, more deeper, and how can I, like you said, that we are all very distracted while offering namaz. Of lately, I think my awareness is much more in my namaz, but sometimes we still do, tend to forget our recitations. Like our mind gets distracted, and we tend to, forget our recitations. And then, how do you like? And when you realize that, how do you get back into being conscious, and you get back into that entire process of being connected?
That's a very nice question, and the best way, see, the essence of conscious namaz or conscious praying is this, that we need to keep our minds empty, right? We need to make sure our minds are fully focused on each and every verse that we are reciting, and every dua, every surah that we are reciting. So when we start our journey of conscious praying, most of us, it will be difficult, because for decades we have been offering namaz in a very subconscious way, right? So the mind is, the moment we start with our namaz, our mind is it's bound to wander here and there. So in order for that not to wander here and there, you have to be a little bit more conscious of, if you realize, in your namaz, your mind is gone somewhere else, it's fine. It's totally fine. You can very well bring it back to the place where you can focus back on the verses, and it will take some time. It is not something that can happen overnight. You will just start praying consciously, and every word you will be from the Holy Quran, you'll be capable of reciting that word by word, being conscious. It will not be possible in the start. Your mind will go here and there. It is very natural, but you will also realize that your mind is now gone somewhere else, and you can very well bring it back, very well bring it back without beating yourself up that why is my mind going here and there. Nothing to worry about. It's a process. It's like your brain is like a muscle, like like how we all go to the gym. We can't just go to the gym day one and start working with heavy weights, right? We'll end up tearing a muscle. It's a procedure. It takes time. The brain is also a muscle. When you start practicing namaz consciously, and within a few days, your mind will become more active in terms of catching itself from wandering anywhere else. So I encourage you to join the Tahajjud Namaz program this Wednesday for 3 days, and we will take you to the depth of every such Islamic knowledge that will help you keep your mind mindful and conscious during the time you offer your namaz. We will help you. Since I see you seem to be a reverted person, so we will want to help you even in more deeper ways beyond the program. Please do join. Please do join the program.
One
And
more, I just have one more question. I've also see, so there are so many places I've gotten to even know. I wanted to know from your end, what do you think? Like, I've heard about this thing ki tahajjud plus astaghfar is very powerful. So what is your take on that? How is tahajjud with reciting, like constantly doing astaghfar is important, and how is it important? How does it help us?
yeah, istighfar is again a very powerful Islamic word, which helps you release anything negative in you. So that's why we are supposed to recite astaghfar also as a zikr sometimes, to for cleansing yourself, cleansing your mind, body, and spirit. So of course you can. I would totally encourage, and if you have a connection with this Islamic word, please meditate on it, close your eyes, recite this word for 33 times, and it will help you. It will help you release a lot of baggages, a lot of negative emotions from your system. Psychologically, this word is capable of healing you. So you can make the most of it during Tahajjud namaz precisely, but also after every namaz, the 5 times prayers that we offer.
Okay, thank you.
Any more questions anybody like to ask? Or we will be opening our WhatsApp group also for Q&A. Right now it is open. It will be open till 6 in the evening. And if you have any more questions, any more doubts, please do post your questions in the WhatsApp community. And also, please do ask your loved ones to join our free sessions, because we'll be hosting these free sessions 3 times a week for during this month of Ramadan, especially, so that the awareness of conscious praying reaches everybody. And this is the intention and the intent behind the whole project that we are running right now. So thank you once again, everybody, for joining. And I'll see you this Wednesday for the Tata Namaz program. Allah Hafiz.